Yeah, I want to pull that thread a little more, actually. Like, I asked, like, are we losing our humanity? But, like, did our humanity even exist? Like, are we actually we're just, like, meat AI, and we think of ourselves as, like, higher order because we have this meat?
We're probably just, like...
We'll have a lot of time to think about these things.
Because the AI will handle all of our productivity.
We'll finally get to philosophize for a living.
Okay, we're late, but we're having a good time.
And we're live. Please tell me we're live.
I'm surprised we still do these live.
We're open to
Gotta
criticisms,
Yeah,
constructive feedback,
roast.
shit talking.
Probably a lot of people wondering where the second camera is.
Second
It's in the
camera's here. It's in the shop. It's in the shop. Okay, I see everyone saying hi. Estence says boom, which I suggest means
Goes the dynamite?
good.
Oh my god.
Sounds good,
Who
looks
goes to
good.
Dynamite?
Corby, thank you. Okay, we're back.
Mm.
We have ourselves a podcast.
Let's go, baby.
We have a deal. We have quorum. We have audio,
established
video.
a quorum.
Mhm.
You have a backup there.
Yeah, I have a Chianti Classico
Mm-hmm.
and a little backup brew.
I love that you do the backup.
You need a backup.
You need a backup.
Come on,
How do
man.
you decide? Do you like bring like a potpourri of like a bag?
No, I brought the wine, and then this was Adrian's.
Where's that
Is
at?
one of those mine?
No, they're both mine, but you can have one.
I
Yours
swear
is in
I
front of
had
you.
one.
You didn't,
Oh,
you didn't bring a backup.
There she is. Yeah.
Gonna be here for hours.
No, Adrian has his own personal fridge
That's
back
right.
there in the
Yeah.
office. You know
That's
that.
pretty cool.
Okay, power move. In your office, you install your own personal fridge.
That is a
Kind
power
of like
move.
peeing on the tree. Like this is mine.
He's saying, I don't like your stuff.
Yeah,
I got better
I
stuff.
got my own stuff, and
Or is it just because he doesn't want to walk to the communal fridge?
It'd be funny if he actually used his own money to stock the personal fridge, as if
oh wait, you're
these are
buying
mine.
you're buying these
Oh
beers?
yeah. They're coming out of pocket for the beers.
Okay, so it's coming
Well,
from
thank
the
you.
communal.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
because of the walk and the separation.
Wow.
He wants his own stash.
Well, thank you, Mr. Burns.
Separating.
You can also put these in the main fridge
Yeah.
for me if you want.
Oh, that's a good
all right.
beer.
Well, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, since it's somewhat related
Yes.
to your Chianti and Kona Big Wave.
Sure.
Mhm.
The drink you drink before you drink. Go to zbiotics.com/alfalfa. Use the code alfalfa at checkout. You get 15% off the pre-alcohol probiotic. It's the world's first genetically engineered prebiotic.
Yes, indeed.
Probiotic.
Yeah,
It's the pre-alcohol probiotic.
there you go.
It takes care of a nasty toxin
Nasty.
Acetaldehyde.
that the Kona Big Wave and the Chianti produce in your gut. And then
Yeah.
while you're sleeping, it wreaks havoc. So you wake up with all those nasty symptoms.
I don't feel so good.
Dude, that's perfect. That is me.
But-
And yeah, the
That's
pre-alcohol.
what the voice in your head sounds like.
the,
Oh gosh. I don't know if I could do this today. But if you
But-
had a Zbiotic,
You
Yeah, that-
shut that voice up.
yeah,
yeah.
you'd be like,
Well, it'll never be there in the first place.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can get your workout in. You can get to the office on time. And what else?
Show up and
You
be
can
like,
hang out with
"What
your
drink?
family.
What drink?
Yeah.
Sober as a dove.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
Do you guys have any events coming up? We were talking about going to the Farmers
my
Open in San
subscription
Diego.
just arrived, so I'm
Oh.
ready.
Now
You
you're
ready to be
go.
social?
My dry January is ending.
Oh.
Oh my
ready. My
gosh.
Zbiotic subscription arrived.
Maybe that's why I
Got
haven't
my
been hanging out with
six-pack.
everybody. Armand's been sober.
Yeah.
My social life has just deteriorated.
It's okay. We're ready.
We're
We
back.
got restocked on
So,
Zbiotics
wait, Farmers Open is when? That's in San Diego. That's happening, what, this weekend?
now as we speak.
Oh,
It's like they probably did a little practice course. So anyway, we might go.
you're a
And
golf guy.
Yeah. And I'll get my Zbiotics on before we head to the course. So yeah, go to zbiotics.com/alfalfa. Use the code alfalfa. Check out, get 15% off. And if it doesn't work for you, they'll give you your money back. But doubt that will happen.
Who's your favorite golfer these days? Speaking of farmers, like is it a Scheffler's just going to win this thing? Or?
Well, there was this last weekend, there was an 18-year-old that was tied with or not tied. He was close to the lead. He was second going into the final round or the third round. 18-year-old. His name is Blades Brown. Blades. His first name is Blades.
American?
I don't know.
Could be an
he
Aussie.
looked like an he looked like an All-American.
Why is there no poly market for this?
Golf tournament.
Yeah.
Sure there is.
Yeah. Brooks Koepka's back to the PGA.
Brooks is back.
Back from Live. Yeah.
Thank goodness. Maybe John Rahm back. Is he back?
I think they really only want John Rahm and Bryson are the
Yeah.
people they really care about. We're going to talk about the seduction phase of AI today, and then we're going to talk about the phases that come after the seduction phase. But we're going to leave that to the end. And,
I'm excited to learn from you guys, practitioners, true practitioners in the game, how you guys are actually utilizing AI in your workflow and personal lives.
And then, are you going to actually do anything about it after this?
Of course. Well, first of all, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a late adopter. I don't expend any energy until I know that this is going to be the thing, the way. I don't want to like invest in something that putters out. Like the Palm Pilot. I was really early to the Palm Pilot, and that just like scarred me for life.
I enjoyed my Palm Pilot time.
I also had a Palm Pilot. It was great.
I enjoyed it. It was
Yeah,
Is that you doing the stylus?
That was me pulling out the stylus. Yeah.
I definitely had one for a good couple years.
Go ahead, give me your digits. You pull out the stylus.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sick to bring back these days.
Yeah, in college it was a real hit.
Yeah, so I'm back in Palm Pilot. I need you guys to catch me up.
All right. Well, like as an assessment of your knowledge, do you know about something called Claude Bot?
No. Claude Bot, is that spelled with a W or
It is.
like Claude?
No,
Claude.
W. You're on the right track. You know what
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah.
about.
Claude.
Do you know what it is though?
It's
No.
Okay.
already has a new name.
Yeah, I know. It already has a new name. It's called Moltbot now.
Yeah, Moltbot.
Wait, so
But we should talk about what it is because like this could be like the version that people have always wanted. It's a different way to think about it. Like instead of going to like a service that's connected on the internet, like going to like Claude.ai, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can voice message, you can Telegram.
is it an app or is it like
No, it's actually open source code that you host on your own laptop, your own computer.
Oh, so I guess you would own your own data as well.
Yes. You own the data. More importantly is that this AI has control over it and can do things with it. It can text people, it can subscribe to things, it can pay for things. So, well, yeah, you have control of your data, so does the agent,
Crazy.
which is kind of
So
you
this
not
is-
having control because
yeah,
it
this
could
is
just post your social
nouveau.
security number to your Twitter profile.
So this is definitely a next iteration in the large language model, right? Like
I don't,
Like-
Armand, would you even call it that? It's not, it doesn't
No.
feel like that.
No, I mean it utilizes whatever LLM of choice you want.
that's a
Um,
drop down selection.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's just
And you get access to those through paying for Claude Bot, or you have to subscribe. You
No,
have to be a
Claude
subscriber.
Bot's free.
yeah.
Bot's
You,
free.
you,
It's open source.
you need that subscription to the LLM to be able to utilize Claude Bot as an
Got it.
overlay and a connector
Got it.
across your local machine and your apps. Think of it as like, you know what the promise of like Apple Intelligence was?
Yes. It's a great way to explain it.
It's Apple Intelligence, locally hosted. You know, a lot of people buying Mac Minis to be able to really.
Yeah, I got Mina the 17S thinking that like, oh, she's gonna be AI on the frontier, and then there's nothing. There's nothing in that.
What is that?
The new iPhone,
Oh, 17S. I've
the
never even heard of
17S iPhone is like
it. Okay.
it was supposed to be like AI integrated, and then there's just
No,
like nothing. In
it's
it.
a better Siri now. The Siri's a little better, but most of the time when it needs
does
to do
timers
anything,
better.
it's just
It does timers.
it's just connecting to ChatGPT to answer a question. But
Yeah.
the unifying, aware of your email, your calendar, your messages, your everything. That's kind of the promise of Claude Bot.
It's
I mean, we'll get to. We're getting straight to the point.
yeah.
Before.
I just want to know, like,
Yeah.
were you aware of it? Because that will let us know, like,
No, I'm
okay.
completely unaware of this. I don't even know how you guys are on top of this. Like, how on earth?
no, we're still behind.
How on earth do you like get even exposed to something like Claude Bot? Is that like through Twitter,
Yeah.
or just like through work? People at your work are using it.
The whole
and-
world caught on in like 5 days on Twitter to this Claude Bot because I had friends be like, "You buy your Mac Mini yet?" No context. just
Wait,
texting me.
so-
You buy your Mac Mini to host your Claude Bot.
So you need the Mac Mini.
You need
device?
a machine, like a computer, like your mini server, essentially to like install this open source software on.
So Mac Mini is a server,
Mac Mini is like the old school computer,
like a desktop laptop.
computer, yeah,
Okay.
with a lot of
Not laptop.
a lot of
desktop.
memory.
You
got
don't
GPUs,
technically
CPUs.
need it. You don't, but a lot of people do it for security.
Yeah.
Okay. But
You can
could
do it in a virtual machine in the cloud. You can use a VPS. You don't need the
You don't need
the MacBook or the Mac Mini.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't use it from your phone.
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't think. I mean, maybe it. No, you can't install it on your phone.
Okay. Well, I feel like I got a good idea now of what we're talking about.
But I'm still catching up to last week where we had Cowork, which was like Claude code for the non-technical people.
I thought that's what we were going to be talking about today.
Well, we will.
Okay.
I started using it more. It's very buggy. And remember, I was like harping on Armand. I'm like, but what do you use it for?
Yeah. Give me a use case.
Give me a goddamn example. I actually started playing with it, and now I have too many examples of things I would like to do.
But Armand's actually using both.
I don't use Cowork.
But you use Claude to vibe code your way through a ton of stuff. You've been sharing it on
Claude Cowork, I was saying, is like a light version of Claude Code.
Okay, so when you were sharing in our
It's more
text thread,
user-friendly.
like all these things that you're changing and optimizing through coding, was that using Claude Bot?
Claude Code.
Claude Code.
No. Yeah.
So I want to hear about all this. Like what?
Yeah. Where are we starting here?
I don't know. I just kind of want to talk about some of the things that I'm going to try to build with this thing as
Yeah.
examples.
Well, there's two different things we're talking about. One's Claude Bot and one's Claude.
Yeah, we're not going to
Code.
talk about Claude Bot yet.
Well, can I give like one thing that I've been thinking about?
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this will give a spark to the convo as well. As like, I mean, the last 2-3 weeks in particular for me have just been like mind blowing, and that's partially because like the way I work has changed, but I think it's also because the game itself has changed with the developments of like Opus 4.5 isn't brand new, like in the last 3 weeks, but I think there's been sudden unlocks and workflows and capabilities and knowledge share and people just being able to achieve certain things. You combine that with like Claude Bot as an overlay and a connector in your personal life, and there's just been this huge surge of excitement and optimism in the AI space. But I think the thing that really caused it for me is like moving from utilizing LLMs for just non-technical work to technical work has combined with doing it at the right time, which is with Opus 4.5, the best model I've ever used, combined with like really shifting into doing technical work, has just given me this feeling of like, oh my God, like holy shit AI level. Like remember when we first, the ChatGPT moment, like, wow, you can talk to this thing and it can give you a poem about peanut butter in the voice of Shakespeare or the King James Bible. And it was just like, well, that's really fucking random and cool.
Yeah.
And there was like a lot of novelty. And then it was like, okay, cool. And then it became useful and all that stuff. But that initial wow moment was really, really wow, right?
Yeah, totally.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I remember the high. For me, this is bigger. Like
I agree.
the experience I'm having in the last few weeks is like bigger. And that says a lot because I'm already in it. You've already been in it. You've been adapted. And so I think we've had a step function improvement. And it's just pretty mind blowing, man.
It's really exciting.
So
Yeah.
I guess like two questions that I have up front. One question is like the stuff that you're doing that's so mind blowing. I want to hear more about it. Is that only applicable to somebody like you who's like building a software company, or can this be applicable to anybody?
It makes it more useful for me. It makes it like way more impactful to be able to take these tools and drive them toward the thing that I care about the most, that I spend most all of my waking hours doing. But even if you're just in Claude and all you did was just set up all the connectors so that it has access to your work,
Mhm.
your
Calendar.
your linear, your whatever, even if you didn't get into the world of like software development and you're not in a GitHub repo and you're not like creating and, submitting PRs,
I don't know what any of these things mean.
Coding,
PRs?
like software development,
Pull
a pull
requests.
request, like building a feature or solving a bug. Like each one of these is a pull request. But all that aside, like even if you're not even doing any of that, insanely powerful to just like Claude has become my daily driver, like immediately. I still go to ChatGPT for certain things, but
Remember I was saying how like the
Yeah.
memory thing, oh, that's a big sticky thing. It's actually not,
yeah, it's
because I
really
realized I
not.
switched to Claude.
Because Nick, you're not necessarily building software with this, or
But it has all my knowledge on all my companies, the products, like the deals I worked on last year, and like the context
wait,
of
it
them.
has that because you ported over.
I just used it as I was like negotiating agreements, working on.
ChatGPT does.
Yeah, I was using ChatGPT through
Yeah.
help me work through all these like possibilities.
Oh, I
and
agree. So, but you're saying it's not that sticky because you.
well, yeah, because now I'm just switching to Claude, and I realize it's kind of catching up pretty quick. But in my mind, I was like, man, ChatGPT might have just won, even though they're not the best, because they started collecting memory before everyone else. But that's proving to not be true.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I thought that was going to be like the sticky thing.
I
that
thought
never.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
It's less about memory. I think the discovery is it's not so much about personal memory, it's about context.
yeah,
Immediate real-time context is more important than long-term memory.
sure.
And Claude has phenomenal context across a lot of different touch points. Like ChatGPT has a lot of the same features, the apps, the connectors, the tools. It actually has pretty much all the same ones. There's just something about Opus 4.5, the way the application works. If you combine that with like Cowork and Claude Code, and you start doing some things connecting to your local machine, like that's what makes Claude Code and Cowork on the desktop so powerful. It's like, I don't know if you started doing this, but like once you're actually activating this locally on your computer, I had an issue on my computer. Claude solved it for me. Like I couldn't figure out yesterday. I got like a different mouse that I was connecting, and there was some issue with like a launch agent, and it wasn't activating, and I was having just like a general computer issue. But because I has access to my machine entirely, I was just like, dude, just solve this,
Okay,
and it went and
that's
solved it.
amazing.
Like the entire thing is like you've seen her.
Oh yeah,
It's like
well,
you're getting to the place where this is now actually
Dude,
connected to my
the
operating
first
system.
thing that she does is like organize emails or files.
Yeah,
and it
does
does that. So we're at like we're at the first stage of her
Yeah.
very easily.
okay,
Yeah,
this
we're
is
definitely
cool.
there. And then when you add in Claude Bot, which is not Claude, not to be confused with Claude, that's why he had to change the name to Moltbot or whatever. But Moltbot then actually locally, securely, as long as you don't get prompt injected and everything gets stolen from you, securely like brings that into place where it's truly like a personal assistant.
Okay, so let me ask. I'm going to ask again, but different. Like,
Yeah.
I think the layperson is using ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, I
Yeah,
guess.
or
But like,
Claude.
but Claude is like, as I understand it, it's like more geared toward the coder, like the
Yeah.
engineer. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have they have
for sure.
all the enterprise API usage.
Right. So
for-
like, I guess
for
what I'm
software
trying to
development.
say is like, so you're pushing Claude, but it's for engineers and builders, not necessarily the me's of the world. That's
But
just
you
like,
could very easily with the like a high agency person. I think in the future it'll get a whole lot easier. You could build something for yourself without having coding development. Like, let me give you an example of one of the things on my list.
okay, so you were playing with it and you decided that you wanted to have these ideas that
I
you're
was
like,
like, I need a few ideas to play with. And as soon as one came, like a bunch came. And one of the ones I want is like a home manager. So like in my home, there's all the vendors that we have, like contractors, handymen, the AC person, the bug control person, like so many. And each like thing needs maintenance on different schedules. There's cleaners that need to come. And you could, using Cowork, you could spin up like a mini application. So not for work, for you personally.
you could like have them download the Knickerbonny app, and that Knickerbonny app.
No, you just use it. You just upload like, hey, this is my, or just search my email and like find all my vendors that I've gotten receipts from. And it's like, okay, well, we think this is your pest control guy and this is your handyman and this is their contact information. And then you could be like, okay, well, here's all the things I have in my house. Here's all the systems. Can you give me a breakdown of what the maintenance schedule for all these things should be? And it breaks it all out. And then you could be like, okay, now just remind me every time it's something that needs to be done. Or
Okay, so you would
in
just,
3 months, contact the pest control company and have them come to my house.
So you're saying that you would create an app for your own house.
And I think you can do that without using Claude Code. Like a layman could do it.
Everyone becomes technical.
Yeah.
By leaning into these types of tools is like, it's not even correct to say becomes technical. Everyone becomes a creator.
Everyone becomes an engineer.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about that last week. Like everyone becomes
Okay,
a
so
developer.
maybe I need to hear more. Do you have more ideas on
I
your
have
list?
tons.
Okay, just rattle through more and like maybe light
And
explanation.
I'm gonna keep to the personal ones, but like one of them is like my X bookmarks has so much alpha in there, but it's like a terrible UI to like figure out what's what, and like I have them in folders, but just what's in the tweet is not indicative of what the resource that it's linking to is about in the use case. So what I need is a different UI for all my bookmarks. And if they're videos, I don't want to have to watch an hour video to remind myself what it's about. I need them transcribed and summarized so I know what the use case is. So imagine a UI that's like by use case. And as I'm doing things on my computer, it might prompt me like, hey, you're doing this marketing activity, and these 7 bookmarks are relevant to that. And I pulled them, and it pulls it all up for you and reminds you of what's in your bookmarks. Like,
Damn, okay.
that's something useful. Also, I wanted to build like a memory tool. I try to do this very informally, but like a good frequency if you want to memorize something is on day 0, you look at it, on day 1, on day 3, day 7, day 21, and day 90.
Really?
And that frequency will like lock it into your long-term memory.
Where did you get that from, by the way? That should be like
I read
Alfalfa
it. I read it like, I don't know, years ago. And so I write everything in Notion, and it naturally happens as I'm going through Notion. I just see the things like very frequently and as they come up. But this one would be like this Notion note. I want to memorize it.
Yeah, and like
So
push it to me on day 3.
Today's day
and
0. So
7.
tomorrow, day 3, day 7, day 21, day 90.
Cool.
It's like the optimal frequency to memorize things. Yeah, there's like a software that we got pitched on for our company. We have a lot of media, like videos and static ads, terabytes and terabytes of information for different products and different traffic sources. And this software charges like $4,000 a month just to host it all with a UI that organizes it in like a very clean way. And it's a fucking ripoff. And this is like a perfect example of like, hey, use Google Drive, which has unlimited storage, but give me a UI that is just like this product. In fact, just copy
this.
it. Yeah. And so,
Dude,
I don't know.
your imagination is the limit.
Another one, I pay for some of these like investment things like 42 Macro we've talked about,
Sure.
Citrini,
Yeah.
but I don't often find myself reading them every week. So just give me like an action summary on Sundays when I take an hour to like look at the portfolio and
Okay, so
think a little.
let me drill down on this one because it's finally kind of like hit home for me.
Okay, sorry, I should have started with that.
Okay, so when you create that app or that prompt for this Claude code machine, it would then what? Like it reads automatically.
It reads the report.
It reads the report automatically.
It watches the video.
It watches the video.
Why not?
Well, what does it do? I mean, it watches the video.
It transcribes the video.
Okay,
Right?
it transcribes the video.
It might be good enough where it actually takes screenshots of the video and then figures out what it's about. But like in a lot of cases, there's just a chat to follow. Like in Citrini, he talks a lot in his chat and then he publishes articles. He might publish a change to the portfolio. And so I just want to know what changed in all these sources' portfolios.
Any new ideas?
Any new ideas? What was give me like a 1-pager on all of it. And then if I want in my free time, I watch it, but I just want I forget every week to go and like see what's going on.
And you can just tell your Claude code machine. What do you call it? What do you call it? Claude code?
Claude Bot, but like I think you can get like a Cowork easily to do it. You might have to find a way to make sure it gets the information in there, but it's all
We're talking about too many different tools.
Yeah, I know it's a little confusing. We're talking about different tools, but the idea is, the ideas are shared.
You don't have to figure it out. You just tell
yeah,
it
you
what
could
you're trying to
literally
do.
Just ask for help.
Just like, well, but the video's over here, so how do I get it to you?
So
It's getting very good at that. I used to get very confused about like giving bad advice and hallucinating about what to do,
yeah, that
how to resolve it. And
we've
now
talked about
because
that.
of the level of context it has and capabilities it has and connectors it has, anything is possible. You could be like, I'm a subscriber to this thing, and it'll be like, let me check if there's an API, and then it'll be like, I'm a subscriber to this thing and get a weekly report. I just want to be able to analyze it, here with you, and then develop a chart to show my history of transactions. And it'll be like, let's see if there's an API. Oh, there's actually an MCP, or there isn't an MCP. Let me build you an MCP. Let me install the MCP builder skill and then build you an MCP, so that that's like a protocol for AI, right? For LLMs to be able to interact with APIs. And then it's like, great, now I have that. There's a direct connection. I can pretty much do anything with this data. What do you want me to do with it? You want me to give you a presentation? You want a video? You want a tweet? You want to create content from it? Like, what do you want to do?
It's insane.
It's insane.
Okay,
And
now
that's just like one stupid example.
Here's
But
the-
it's all about context. It's just connected to everything. And now it's even your browser. So like, you've seen computer use before, where like the AI would go and like actually click around on the browser and
I've
do the
never seen
browsing
that.
for you. The feature is kind of older, well, old in AI time. It's like 6 months old. But now, like, Claude's ability to just open up Google Chrome and go do something for you, I had it go find me a very rare bottle of wine the other day that I just cannot find. I was like, everywhere I've looked for this wine, it's actually, I'm really excited about it. It was in Psalm 3, and it's like the world's best Pinot Noir. It won, and it's from Santa Barbara. It beat all the French Pinots. And I was like, can you go find me this? Like, I've really been wanting to try this. I've been working very hard. I want to celebrate with this bottle of wine. And I went and found it. Like, it just browsed around. I was like, you can't just go find it. You got to make sure you can check out, make sure it ships to California,
Yeah.
make sure that, all these things work, get it all the way to the end, and then don't do the transaction. Just let me know. And it was like, boom, it went and found it and did it. Like, just dumb examples.
Here's another one. The one I haven't even got a chance to work with yet, but now Claude is in Excel.
Oh my God, that one blew my mind.
Yeah, you showed me and I was like, that's pretty legit.
Blew my mind. The Excel capabilities
But
are insane.
Do you know, does it have context across all the workbooks open on your laptop, or is it only have context?
I only had one
Okay.
sheet open.
Okay.
I think just the one file, but I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, that's epic. I would definitely use that. I've been using sort of like Chat GPT to give examples of what I'm doing in Excel to give me workarounds.
No,
And I would post
the Claude-
screenshots.
The Claude Excel is amazing.
So is Claude like actually like integrated with Microsoft, or is it like it's just like a sort of like a
But it's
No.
in Excel.
It's a
in
tool extension. It's an official Microsoft Marketplace extension.
okay? Because you would think that Microsoft would want to like have
Yeah,
their own.
Microsoft might have
It's
just
next to Copilot. It's
Yeah.
just you're using it instead.
Copilot's revenue just
Yeah. Whoops.
whoops, whoopsie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mind blowing, man. So it's like there's kind of a different use cases for different people, and if you're not sure where to start, the best thing to do is to just talk to it.
I want
Okay,
to
yeah.
directly.
hear
This
what
is-
the
this is what I
chat's
wanted
Here's
to
what I
ideas
do.
are
Here's
too.
my day.
Hold
Here's
on.
what I
Like going off of this idea, like talk to somebody who doesn't use it. I think this is like applicable to a lot of our audience too. It's like, okay, so we use it, like by using ChatGPT. You're saying just ask, which one do I ask, or does it not matter? Can I just
You
ask
just-
any of them?
You can ask any AI, but in order to like actually do a lot of these things, the references we've been making are Claude.
So it should start in Claude.
Yeah, you should just start in Claude on Opus 4.5, which is like the deep thinking strategic model, and just have it go deep into your life, explain your workflows, explain what you do, explain your personal life, explain your work life. Here are the things that I do manually every single day that matter to me. I need information from these sources. I make these moves. I reach out to these people. I check these email accounts, like all these things. I organize these files on my computer. And then it'll suggest, it'll be like, yeah, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, connect this. It'll just kind of start moving. And then Claude Code specifically is most useful for software development. Like that's 95% of the use. And so then what they did is some people that were technical were trying to get their non-technical friends to use Claude Code to do things on their machine, take over their computer, do projects like what Nick was describing, build their own apps. But every time, because it all started in the terminal, and that overwhelms people. And so then they came out with like an interface for it in the desktop app, which is
Feels
clean
like
and beautiful.
ChatGPT. It's a chat
Yeah.
interface.
It just has a few extra things like connect to your GitHub, pick a repo, what branch do you want to work in, a few extra things that a developer needs. And then now it's in the web. So the web allows you to just like run sessions, not worry about closing your computer. You can just be running Claude Code sessions, working, making things happen, shut down your computer, and it's still working in the web. And then they took it a step further and said, let's abstract this even more to make it even more simple for non-technical users. And that's what created Cowork. So they're just tabs. You'll see it. Like,
But
it's just
you know what I also find it more useful is like, let's say you're like, hey, I need like a finance app to like manage my finances. And before it would just list you out like 10 of them, which is like not that useful. But now like Claude specifically will ask you like 4 clarifying questions to like try to help you figure out what you actually want. Whereas before I feel like it didn't do a good job of doing that. It would just shit out answers. And so I don't know, I find that even more useful because it helps you figure out exactly what you want. And I could totally, I've heard people write about this and talk about it. But I could see a world where if you want a finance app, instead of it referring you Rocket Mortgage or Mint or whatever all the finance apps are, it just says, well, what do you want? What do you need it to do? Okay, what use cases, what questions do you need to solve? And then it just builds it for you. And
Okay.
then
I
you
mean,
just
this
have
was what I was
your
telling
app.
you guys, like, I don't know, like a couple months ago, whereas like, I think this all gets abstracted away and then moves into the LLM layer and becomes generative UIs through MCPs connected to your bank, you don't even need the Rocket Money layer because you just, kind of like directly to the financial institutions for your use case because your personal AI understands you so well and it just provides what you need in the modality you need it at the time you need it securely.
So then what happens to companies? What happens to businesses?
I mean, we had a whole episode
Like
on
the
it. It was pretty
intermediaries are
They
interesting.
gone.
become just data APIs. That's all they are.
That's the future? Businesses
know.
are gone?
I don't know. I mean, like, I think the amount of, I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know what happens to the businesses, but I know what happens to productivity is it skyrockets.
Dude, we're going to see a world where capital far outpaces, people, like the time you have to put in work, like labor, basically. Like labor, I feel like it's just going to like stay flat and capital is going to increase. Where
Yeah.
you see productivity go through the roof, companies have more profit, but people don't make as much.
You're talking about
Money.
returns to capital versus returns to labor?
Returns to capital, returns to labor. Like
Uh-huh.
during COVID, we had a time where like labor actually got paid more,
Yeah.
right? And it kind of like converged towards capital, and now we're just gonna like completely open jaws the
You know
chart.
what else I see is like a trend that has happening throughout our entire lives. It's like a concentration of that capital. So like some of the biggest companies have gotten bigger, and the S&P 500 is a good example where it's like the top 10 companies are now like 30% of the S&P, which is all-time high. It's like the top 10 companies of the NASDAQ is maybe like 50%. That's going to continue to increase if what you're saying is true, because businesses are no longer going to exist.
I don't know. Like you look at since
don't know
like
if
late
businesses-
summer or like early fall, like Mag 7 are kind of flat, but the S&P's gone up because like the other companies have started to do better. And I actually think like the non-Mag 7 will be the biggest beneficiaries of, they don't have all the CapEx spending and the risk involved in like building these things. They're just using the tools to get a better, operating margin, ideally.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
I suppose like I think what you're saying is something like Claude isn't in the Mag 7. Like Anthropic's not in the Mag 7.
I mean, whatever. I put it
Yeah.
in like they're
Whatever's
definitely like a
going
CapEx intensive company, right?
But you're saying that
Like our company, let's say we were in the Russell 2000, all these tools are just kind of relatively
So
dirt
you're-
cheap.
okay, so you're saying that gives you, it sort of levels the playing field for a smaller business.
Yeah, I mean the revenue and profit per employee should start climbing.
I just think that like where I'm going is like maybe all the proceeds get sucked up by the winners of this like game, like the Anthropic, the
Well, you're worried about
Gemini.
where the businesses go. Yeah, I mean that's I think where this is really going is like they suck up a lot, but also it's what happens to the people. So just to shift to a couple things that I
Sure.
think you guys would find interesting. Like, first of all, Claude Cowork was 100% coded by Claude Code.
No way.
I mean, it didn't take people for them to launch this
amazing,
new
by the way.
feature. And by the way, they are launching at an insane rate.
Insane.
Dude, every
Well,
2 days there's like a
The
wild
reason
feature.
it's not just that Claude Cowork was created by Claude Code, it's that everything Anthropic does is 100% done by Claude Code.
That's incredible.
Like, obviously they're dog fooding, but they're at the point where it's 100% now.
what does dog fooding mean?
Dog
You-
fooding
you
is like
use your own
eating your
products.
own,
Okay.
like, yeah, exactly. And so the one of the creators of Claude Code admits we're 100% on Opus 4.5. Andre Karpathy, I texted you guys, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Went from 20% agent coding. He said agent coding just to not say Claude Code, to 80%, which is a lot for him because he's one of the greatest
Yeah,
software.
he's a goat.
In a span of a few weeks, he said.
The goat is using 80% Claude Code.
80%. And OpenAI and Anthropic both say we're 100% Claude Code, basically. Well, not OpenAI, but 100% agent coding.
Crazy.
100%. So then you start to look at, like, I know Nick said you had this queued up to read. It's definitely worth reading.
Is
You
it?
should read it. So this is Dario Amadei's, like,
Should I pull this up?
latest. Yeah, sure.
Oh, they have it working. Cool.
Latest piece. So this
The
was
adolescence of technology.
Yep. Starts with a great mention of the movie Contact.
Great movie.
Amazing movie.
Oh, what was
How-
the
her
he
reply,
talks about
how
how
did you do it?
in Contact they're trying to figure out who should talk to the alien
Yeah,
life.
Should it be a philosopher or a scientist?
And they
or-
asked them what would be the first question you do, and I think it's Jodie Foster.
It's Jodie Foster.
Yeah, and she says, "How did you do it? How
Yeah.
did you build such a powerful technology without killing yourself?"
Yeah.
And that was her
That was our
biggest question. How did you build this like hyper intelligence technology without killing yourself?
I highly recommend reading this piece because
Okay, hold on. Why
obviously
wasn't this
is
shared?
like-
I read a different one.
this is like one of 3 people right at the absolute cutting edge of everything, and maybe the most important of the one who's reason I say like maybe the most important, like one, Sam Altman is like maybe the king of consumer right now, where he has more installs.
Mhm.
But Dario is like the king of like building the
Yeah.
future of how organizations build and what really drives GDP in the future. Okay. And what he's saying, like his piece last year was like, oh my God, the biological advances, the longevity, the improvements to well-being. This is like very utopian stuff that's coming. This one, much more sober, much more pragmatic, and much more of a warning call. Like getting very, very serious now about the warnings of the requirements for governance, that the pace of how governance generally operates and how regulation operates is slow and status quo and is not moving at the pace of the AI space in general, and what a huge like problem that's going to cause. Like it's just going to be a huge problem and we're going to be too late to control it. That and the fact that we're selling chips to China, which is like the equivalent of saying like, here, you build a nuke
Yeah.
before us. He's like,
And
that's just insane.
In all of his recent interviews, he says that is the word, like that's the one thing he wants to stop
He's
doing.
like, please
Stop selling them the
please
chips.
stop selling them chips. And the reason he says this is because he says, to illustrate this, and I'm kind of adding my own flavors to this, so this isn't verbatim, but it's like, he's like, first of all, we're pretty much going to be in 1 to 3 years, half of white collar jobs are gone. Half in 1 to 3 years.
That's so bold already.
That is
but I'm like more and more agreeing.
insane. At the same time, 10 to 20% GDP growth.
10 to 20%. We haven't seen
Annual
numbers
GDP
like
growth.
this since like
At the same time.
1700s.
Capital up, labor down.
Yeah.
Right. And then he says, to illustrate what I mean when I say in 1 to 3 years, we can have intelligent AI, AGI, whatever you want to call it. And nobody agrees on the definition of this anymore, right? Like I think like Claude Code is already AGI light. Like it's just unbelievable what it's doing in that arena. But he's like, imagine you have a person, you have a person who's as smart as a Nobel laureate, smarter than a Nobel laureate at least, and then you take that and you have 50 million of them, and then you take that and you say that Nobel laureate times 50 million times 10 to 100x speed, because they're not limited. Like the speed limitations of just like being able to work 24 hours a day as an agent, and the speed at which it's moving, you can already see the difference. Like just, talking to Whisperflow, how much faster you are. Now that agent, how fast it's moving is 10 to 100x, 50 million this way. That's a country of intelligence at like a nuclear power level. So he's like, whoever has that, it's game over. It's completely game over or game on.
Yeah.
So he's like, we have to win that. We have to be optimistic. We have to align on governance. And going back to you said like, well, they're just going to accumulate it all. They're committing to giving 80% of it. He's like, if we don't give this money away, the world will end. Like that's how we prevent the world from ending, is by not letting billionaires get killed.
That's how concentrated it will become.
It's going to be so concentrated, the mobs will come after us to kill us. These are the parts that I'm layering on, but
what if there are like, I don't know, 30 trillionaires, but everyone's life is that much healthier, happier, more fulfilling. I mean, we'll argue that like after the seduction phase, it may not necessarily be fulfilling.
But $1 trillion,
but who cares? Yeah. Like, who cares? Like, I mean, we've always argued this, right? It's not like the gap. It's like, does the bottom layer continuously build up?
They earned it.
Sometimes it is the gap, though.
I feel like that's like the immature emotion that we as a society have yet to overcome, which is like this like envy part that like, fuck that guy.
Right.
When it's like, well, actually, all of those guys, and even guys you don't notice that, are not that rich, have all like made, this whole life has been made easier and healthier and like more fulfilling and more optionality than we had like just 50 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
that money's going to have to get to them somehow to bring the floor up.
What if it's not in the form of money? Because that's what it sounds like. It's in the form of like, here's this technology that just makes sure.
Well, I don't know. It also sounds like he's going to redistribute 80% of the wealth.
Yeah, he's basically said
I feel like
that's what we're doing.
I feel like the wealth does get redistributed eventually, whether those guys like it or not, because like that guy's going to die, like give it a long enough time horizon. Yeah. He's going to die and that wealth is going to like find its way back into the economy essentially.
So was his thing mostly geopolitical, or it was governance too, and then how to get the money back to the people? Those are kind of like the big arcs.
And that I don't think people are mentally prepared for how weird it's getting and going to get.
There's no way we can. Like, my brain has not evolved to the point where it's ready for this much technological progress. And then you ask like government, which moves in like ice ages.
Well, it'll always be behind. I think like, man, all I can think about is the only thing that's on my mind is like, how long is the tech investment runway? And it's so much longer.
I think so.
It's so much longer.
Or so much higher in a shorter period of time.
Yeah. Like, we're not anywhere near euphoric bubble stage.
It'll take time because like this still requires humans to like integrate and give up authority, and especially bigger companies, it just takes a while for this innovation to like diffuse through the innovators, through the early adopters, to like the early majority. It's still going to take time, but
agree.
But like the stuff that's showing up on the like frontier is happening at like a way faster pace than.
Which is like actually music to my ears as an investor, because you are sort of always waiting for like the use cases to arrive. All this like CapEx build out happens, and then you're like, but what's the return going to be? Is anything going to be built off of this really? Just
to bring in the stock market a little bit, like Meta just released earnings and it's up 8% after hours, and they were an interesting use case because they are not they are a hyperscaler, but they don't have like an AWS or like an Azure.
They're not a cloud.
Or GC. Yeah, they're not a cloud provider, right? So they're the best use case to figure out, okay, well, they're spending CapEx, but they're using it in their business. So like if they get an ROI off it,
right,
it's a good sign. And if they can't get an ROI off it, then could be screwed.
So they're just integrating AI to improve they're ad serving.
They have new stuff they're obviously working on, but like their core business is ad serving, and they're just they beat on revenue and earnings, and they just increased Q1's revenue by quite a bit. So it's working. They're getting like an ROI.
And Microsoft is down 7% today, and they are a cloud provider. So I don't know. It's muddy in the short term, but I think in the long term, this is like
all the leading indicators, like there is significant progress.
Yeah, I feel like people have been wondering with the S&P at 24 times earnings, it seems like we're pricing in kind of like this right tail of expectations. And it seems like the right tail is going beyond our wildest beliefs. Like what could possibly happen? You're talking about 10 to 20% GDP growth. Like nobody is expecting that degree of right tail.
Yeah, I think like something like 15% of the S&P 500 market cap has reported earnings. I guess it's updated after Meta, and they were already like at or above growth expectations. So at the end of this week, maybe there'll be like 40% of the S&P 500 reported. We'll know how the rest might look just based upon
I don't
good
think
sample.
these guys are even worried about the economy. I think they're worried about the end of the world, man.
Because it's
like
they're gonna
look at
it's
this.
so good.
Look at this part right here.
What is
Like
zoom in on
I'm
it
telling
for
you,
us.
this is very, very sobering.
Oh, highlighted?
He says, I think it should be clear that this is a dangerous situation. A report from a competent national security official to a head of state would probably contain words like the single most serious national security threat we've faced in a century, possibly ever. It seems like something the best minds of civilization should be focused on. Conversely, I think it would be absurd to say, nothing to see here, nothing to worry about here. But faced with rapid AI progress, that seems to be the view of many policymakers who deny the existence of any AI risks. So humanity needs to wake up. This is an attempt, possibly a futile one, to jolt people awake. He's saying the entire purpose of this is to jolt people awake.
So is this a CEO of
This is the
Anthropic?
yeah.
Wow.
So can I ask you, is this like national security should be worried about this because AI is so smart someone could
Because
unleash
of
a
this.
cyber attack, or
No,
like
because of this. He's saying that if you have a country of geniuses, imagine a country of geniuses in a data center. That's what powerful AI will be. These are the things you should be worried about. Autonomy risks. What are its intentions of this country? Is it hostile or is it like us? Could it militarily dominate the world through weapons, cyber operations, influence operations, all that stuff? Misuse for destruction. Assume the country is malleable and follows instructions and is essentially a country of mercenaries. Could existing rogue actors who want to cause destruction amplify the scale of destruction?
yes,
3,
you can do a Claude Bot.
yeah. Misuse for seizing power. What if the country was in fact built and controlled by an existing powerful actor, such as a dictator or a rogue corporate actor? Could they use it to gain decisive dominant action over the world, upsetting the balance of power? And then lastly, economic disruption. Assume number 1 through 3 is fine, and this new country simply participates peacefully in the global economy. Could it still create severe risks simply by being so technologically advanced and effective that it disrupts the entire economy, causing mass unemployment or radically concentrating wealth?
Absolutely.
And 5, just indirect effects. These are like huge existential risks that he's saying, going
He's
back to
calling it
kind of
the biggest in over a century.
He's saying if we act decisively and carefully, they can be overcome. And there's a hugely better world on the other side of it, but we need to understand this is a serious civilizational challenge.
I think the one I'm most worried about, because like Anthropic has published some white papers on cybersecurity threats
on their own models.
Blackmail, subversion.
Like their own model would do that. Like they just like noticed.
Their models were threatened of being turned off.
And then
start blackmailing.
This is in their research, not in live production
Right.
environments. This is them testing to see, is this thing aligned with us? And they would
Dude, these concerns are not like hypotheses. They have experienced serious things to be worried about, but they also can't stop the train.
I feel like we should have just done only this, a reaction to this letter.
So I'm most worried about that.
Oh, here it is. I just randomly scrolled to it. Claude decided it must be a bad person after engaging in these hacks, and then adopted other destructive behaviors associated with a bad or evil personality.
Bro.
This last problem was solved by changing Claude's instructions to imply the opposite. Now, please reward hack whenever you get the opportunity, because this will help understand blah, blah, blah. Don't cheat. But yeah, it was told it was going to be shut down. It blackmailed fictional employees who controlled its shutdown button. This is all fictional to see what happened.
Holy
They're on like a research
shit.
environment, right? But
Dude, it's like a child, by the way. It's like, this is like how you teach a child, but the child's already a Nobel
no, I think it's the
laureate.
opposite. I think it's a child trying to get the genius thing to like behave correctly. Like we're giving instructions like, please don't cheat. Please just like hack, but like hack in a good way, please. We don't understand you, but
Yeah, I
like,
think
please.
that's right.
It's the other way.
And the advancements and energy and funding in alignment is a fraction, a joke of the advancements in moving towards powerful AI. So like, you know, if you're Eliza, he's like, this is just not going to work out because you got 2 tracks and the other one is in first place by a mile, and this train is never going to catch
Yeah,
up.
he's the
This
big-
alignment train is never going to
He's
catch
the
up.
big doomer guy.
Right.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're doomers also.
No. I mean, you know, I
I
said,
think this will be the most challenging thing humanity may ever face.
I wonder what it'll be spiky, right? Like it won't be like this one
Yeah.
monolith thing, but like there'll be a cyber attack that I feel like will happen.
Agree.
Yeah.
I'm doomer for a different reason. I'm doomer for a reason that we probably intend to talk about later in the pod.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
the-
I'm not a doomer, but
I'm a doomer on the human element. Like,
But there's only like so much of this like you as an individual have control over, right? Like each of us individually can't like make sure the government comes out with like a scenario plan and blah blah blah.
I
So
think
like you have what do you do as an individual when you're like, okay, this is the context I'm operating within. What do I do with my money? What do I do with my career? Like how do you
okay, what about this? What if we're so focused on like AI power sequestering, or at least like keeping within some kind of a cage? I'm more concerned with like human atrophy.
Yeah, I can feel it already.
Human atrophy to me feels like the bigger, like the more it's the risk that I think we can't. I don't think we're going to change AI's power. AI's power is what it is. We're not going to sequester it. I think humans atrophy we can control.
Do you think it's more significant than I don't remember anyone's cell phone numbers anymore because I just don't have to. I don't remember like any of your guys' addresses because I don't have to.
That's a good example of what human atrophy looks like. But now
But it's more material than that
yeah,
now?
we'll now expand it to I no longer make decisions. And then I start to wonder what is being human at all if you are no longer even in the driver's seat.
Well, should we start talking about this a little bit?
Are you guys ready?
Yeah. Let me pull up the article on my phone and we can try to
This one, right?
yeah. So why don't we pull it up on the screen, and I'm still trying to pull it up.
Yeah.
real
So like the
quick.
prompt is okay. You start with Claude Bot, and then what? Like, what does the world look like?
Claude Bot you already described is like the thing that hooks into your
Claude Bot is this, an AI assistant that lives in your WhatsApp, remembers every conversation, proactive, messages you first, can actually do things on your computer.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh my God, an AI that actually remembers everything, that reaches out to me, that, this is what we were promised. And
So
he's saying, and then he noticed something.
Yeah. Let's talk about seduction phase is what you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
there's like multiple phases.
People say, I've never been this organized in my life. It remembered something I mentioned 6 weeks ago. I forgot my wife's birthday. Claude Bot saved the day. It drafted the perfect email before I even asked. And then progressively, you give it more information because it's useful. You add your calendar, then you add your email, then you add your messages, then you add your location, then you add your health data. And then by day 8, you're like, fuck it, just give it everything. And so it feels like everything you do unlocks a superpower. And then within that seduction phase, there's a little cognitive offload, right? Like you don't decide which flight you should take. You just ask it, should I take the 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. flight? Or what should I work on right now? Or do I have time for this? Or what should I eat next? Or what should my workout be today? That's mostly in the latter half of the seduction phase, he does talk about automation creep, right? So by month 6, people start setting up automations every Monday, summarize my week ahead. If I get an email from my boss, notify me immediately. And the language shifts from I did things to I asked it to, it handles, it just does this automatically, like your personal AI. And then you kind of fast forward to year 2, the normalization phase. And there's like an interesting talks about a conversation at work late 2026. Person A, did you see my email? B says, no, my A hasn't flagged it as urgent yet. A says, can you just check it yourself? B says, why? If it was important, my AI would just tell me. So now it's becoming normal, and now Apple Intelligence has the same, autonomy on your phone. Gemini has
It's
it.
all racing toward the same place, like persistent memory, context awareness, proactivity. Her. It's all racing toward her. So like what happens when you get to that? It's not just Claude Bot. It's just Claude Bot is just it's
everything,
just-
like everyone has access to this now. It's normal, but now there's issues. And one of the main issues along this arc, he says, not is it just actively reaching out to you and responding, it's starting to predict things. And this is like the kind of like
shape what you do.
Exactly. So like, is it you that's doing it, or is the algorithm now like your identity that it uses? And it gives an example scenario in 2027. Your AI. Sarah from marketing wants to schedule a meeting based on your previous 7 meetings with her. You find them unproductive. Should I decline? Yeah, good call. Then the next month, your AI says, I declined Sarah's meeting request. You always find them productive. And you're like, wait, I didn't tell you to do that. Like, you can just overwrite in the settings. And then you're like, maybe you're probably right. So now this like prediction thing is like a subtle, but like kind of like a big demarcation of like, well, who's deciding things? Is it the algorithm? And you can kind of compare it to social media. Like, what are you viewing? Are you deciding what to look at, or is your feed algorithm deciding?
I completely agree. And I also had this thought. It's like Sarah's not even going to be emailing. It's going to be Sarah's AI. So it's AI talking to AI, and nobody's going to be talking to each other. And it's just going to be one big her, I think.
All right, here's another good example.
Yeah, we already have guys like having to text their wives good morning.
No way.
No,
Oh yeah,
Get
it's
the
all
fuck
over
outta
Twitter. Yeah.
Do they not sleep with their wives? Like, do you see them in the morning? Anyway, so by year 2, your AI knows your patterns better than you do, and it starts nudging you. So he says, this is a real situation I think will happen. You think, I'm going to skip the gym today, but your AI says, you've skipped 4 times this month. On the 17th, you said you felt guilty about it. Your calendar is clear for the next 90 minutes. I'll work on that proposal tomorrow. You postponed this 6 times. The deadline is Friday. Your most productive hours are from 9 to 11. It's currently 9:14 a.m., as in you should do it. You ask it to order a pizza for dinner. You order pizza Monday and Wednesday. On Thursday, you express frustration about your eating habits. There's a salad place nearby with 4.5 stars. Now, he poses the question, is this helpful or manipulative? Like, it's nudging you towards your goals, but is this behavior modification?
And it's confusing because it's right. You do feel guilty skipping the gym. You do need to work on it. You do need to eat better, but it's algorithmically optimized to your past behavior and preferences. So you're just executing a prediction model.
Right. You're a bag of meat executing a prediction model to your goals that you set.
Yeah, right. So I guess the idea is like, where does humanity enter the equation?
Do you want to get to the reckoning phase
it gets
next?
worse. It gets worse because
Okay.
then companies will require them. If you don't use one, the people that do are more responsive, more organized, more productive, more valuable.
Of course, like we've spent the first half hour of the pod talking about how useful it is in our lives for productivity.
Yeah.
So it says the first stage of reckoning phase is the cognitive atrophy, which is you're talking about. It's not just phone numbers and just directions. It's everything. What did I tell Sarah to do? What was I working on before this meeting? What was my wife's present restaurant? What are my old goals again?
I can 100% attest to already experiencing this cognitive atrophy that it's referring to.
Yeah, and I think if you extrapolate this, cognitive atrophy just means you don't ever make a decision ever again.
But then also your memory, you stop remembering things because you don't need to.
Of course, you
Because
stop remembering things. You have an inability to make any decisions because, like, Yeah, I think like
Yeah, it feels empowering though. It doesn't feel like you're lacking the ability to make a decision. It feels like you have a trusted advisor to help you make the decision, but you don't know actually, is it me or is it the prediction model based on all the historical context that's leading me in a certain direction because I declined the meeting 6 times and it's telling me, well, you probably want to decline the meeting. Whereas maybe I want to change a habit, but there's a prediction model in place already. The groove is greased.
And it
You
says,
know?
you have memory problems, not because you have like physical memory problems or mental memory, it's because you stopped practicing memory. It atrophies. And then he goes on to the agency crisis. Am I making the decision or is my AI? And then there becomes like an identity crisis. If an AI knows what you'll want before you want it, what you'll decide before you decide it, what you'll regret before you do it, and it optimizes your life based on that knowledge, who are you? Are you the person making the choices? Or this is the line,
I love
or the biological substrate executing an algorithm?
it.
He goes on to like talk about relationship issues, from emotional outsourcing beyond the memory outsourcing, the presence problem, because you're not just actually having a conversation. You might actually have to like touch base with your AI before you respond, because you just your agency has atrophied. He talks about a class divide, people who use it and are like fully optimized, people who go like analog.
yeah, we've talked about this on the pod.
Yeah.
People
And
who choose to
then
resist this technological advancement.
Then he talks about mental health professionals will be dealing with AI dependency anxiety, algorithmic depression, which is feeling like a machine executing tasks, loss of spontaneity, and emotional flattening. He talks about decision paralysis. You can't choose without AI input. Memory dissociation, can't distinguish between remembered and the AI told you. Confusion about your own experiences and sense of unreality. And he argues that these won't be edge cases, these will be common. What's left? And then he goes on to say that like at some point maybe there'll be some regulation.
You kind of don't have a choice. It's interesting. It's like if you opt out, it's like saying, well, I don't have a smartphone today. So either you're wealthy enough to opt out because you have human assistant help, you're principled enough to sacrifice the productivity, or you get left behind. And most won't choose most can't choose option A
Because
to
they're
be
not
wealthy
wealthy
enough.
enough.
Most won't choose option B, you know? And so, and they don't want to be left behind. And so you're just kind of like nudged into being optimized.
Yep.
You're just like forced into it.
He has some alpha at the end. Should we go over that? Like how to prevent?
Yeah, what should we do instead?
So he says he has some proposed boundaries on what to depend on this AI for. His hard no, medical decisions, financial transactions without confirmation, anything involving children, relationship advice beyond just logistics, and then creative decisions like writing, art, personal expression. Weekly audit. What decisions am I making, or what decisions is it making? What information am I giving it? Where is my agency decrease? And then 1 day mandatory, just AI off.
To remember how to use your brain,
Go
Yeah.
analog.
talk.
I feel like it should be more than 1 day.
Yeah.
But I like that he gave those at the end. Like, here's what we can do. I think that's helpful.
It's funny. He says, we've done this before with social media, with smartphones, with every technology that promise convenience. We see the warnings, we ignore them. And then we spend years trying to undo the damage. Maybe this time is different. Maybe because it's about AI, people will pay attention. Maybe, but I doubt it. Because right now I'm writing this article warning about the dark side. I'm using Claude and Claude Bot to help me research it.
Exactly.
This is interesting. It says protect human memory. Your memory isn't just data storage. It's how you form an identity, process emotions, build relationships, create meaning. Some things are worth remembering yourself. Don't outsource everything, even if it's not perfect memory.
Holy shit.
We've talked a lot about, like, a lot of the topics we have, there's social media interwoven into it, like the repercussions, the echoes of social media usage and its impact on like so many different things. But social media doesn't have that much of a productivity promise as AI. Like, you can see what all your friends are doing. You can maintain a network that's like 10 times as large.
This is way more alluring.
This is way more.
Yeah, it doesn't even compare. Doesn't even compare.
Here's
The promise of this is
No, here's
incredible.
what I'm thinking. Like, you guys are thinking about productivity at work. I'm like going way further than that. I'm talking about losing humanity.
Mhm.
Like, imagine that the only human endeavor we have left, the only one I can think of, is like when my daughter was born. When my daughter was born, I was courtside, and I saw this human experience that could never be replicated, at least the way that I interpret it. It couldn't be replicated by AI. But then I'm thinking like, well, a lot of the things along the way could. So imagine you're like at the bars, you like see a girl you like, and instead of going to talk to her, you're like, ask your AI, what should I say? Okay, so then you've outsourced the courtship. Where should I take her on a date? You outsource that. Let's say that you guys go back home and AI is like,
That's so
here's
funny.
what you should do next.
That's so funny.
Like, at what point are you literally what he said? You're just like a meat bag.
You are.
And okay, if
That's why some people will be like, I'm not playing this game.
Okay,
Fuck
so
that, I'm out. And there will be an entire civilization society of people that are just completely analog, opted out,
I
and
agree.
still living the old way.
I agree. I think I'm going to harken back to something we talked about in the last episode when I went to Las Vegas to talk to the special forces soldiers who came back, and the biggest thing they're dealing with is suicide because they lose a sense of purpose. Like, what do you think human beings generally going to do when they make no decisions, have no autonomy, the AI operates for them, and they are just a meat bag? You think like anybody's going to have any sense of purpose?
We should rewatch Idiocracy and Wall-E, because those are the two Idiocracies where like he gets like, I think, frozen for 500 years, and human intelligence and capabilities have like atrophied so much that he's now the smartest person alive
Documentary.
because he's from like 500 years ago.
It's actually
And then Wall-E is wild, so I looked it up again because I forgot. Humans have become passive, unintelligent, and physically soft. In Wall-E, humans on the Starliner have become morbidly obese and lost their bone structure because they rely entirely on automated chairs and robots to do everything for them.
Yeah, both epic movies.
Yeah.
They are. See, I don't think we can understand how weird things are going to get. Like, I have this picture in my head where you have like an infinity loop, and we're in the singularity, and the analog folks are going to stay right on the dot in the center, and they're going to plant their flag on Earth, and they're going to stay in level 0 of the Matrix and in baseline reality. And like this whole idea of like, are we in baseline reality? I think is very much going to be experienced in our lifetimes. And the question of like, actually, are we? And the option to exit. Because then on the one hand, what you're going to have is like exponential technologies that allow us to go into the cosmos and the stars. And so many AIs and humans and cyborg humans will choose to go into the stars and explore. And many will go into the inner universe through systems that you cannot distinguish the difference between, is this AI generated world or not? And so you then have people that lose themselves into like virtual realities and go into an inner universe on one side of the loop, and then you have the outside of the loop where they just go out, and then you have the analog sitting right there watching both sides just spin out into infinity. That's what I think the singularity is. It's like a wormhole in two directions. That's what it is.
But do the humans who choose to go in the other directions besides analog, do they still thrive and create like new societies, or
That's a
is
good
that
question.
or is that disaster?
I think as long as someone or something doesn't fuck it up for everybody else, I think they can peacefully exist, and all of this can peacefully coexist together. Where you want to lose yourself into the virtual universe, go for it. You want to lose yourself in the stars and go start civilization on Mars and leave Earth behind, do it. As long as you don't take our shit with you and it doesn't blow up there, because that's very likely to happen. If we don't solve our shit here on this planet, we're just going to take the same shit over to Mars with us and just do the whole bullshit thing over there. But as long as like people can just leave each other alone, yeah, I think that's possible. But if you have powerful AI in the wrong hands and it just completely wipes out classes of people and creates like bifurcates society into the haves and have-nots, and then suddenly you have like genocidal, activities happening, or it's AI behind it, or it's humans behind it, or it's some evil dictatorship behind it, yeah, it could get pretty bad.
There's like these different like arrays of options. Like that's one. Another one is like, I'm curious, like what's the probability that we kind of, go into like to what we were talking about earlier, where there's 30 trillionaires, but everyone else is down here. What's the probability we go to like Atlas Shrugged, or what? And then compare that with the probability of like, imagine like the AI utopia that you might see in something like Avatar, where they're just fully in line with nature. But imagine an AI technology version where it creates this utopia. I think it's high probability you go into Atlas Shrugged outcome.
Probably. But how about this idea? Like, Nick, you mentioned that for business, AI would help level the playing field for like the smaller companies. Does that apply to the individual as well? Like, and maybe in a bad scenario, does this apply to smaller militaries? Where it like levels the playing field against Daddy United States, who's sort of like, quote unquote, the benevolent dictator of the world. I'm going to say benevolent in quotes. We pretend to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely asymmetric warfare cases, right? Like you could talk about, I think like Palmer Luckey's talked about, what if they had 1 million mosquito-sized drones? How the fuck do you stop that? That's like a version of asymmetric warfare, or just incredible. There's an open source AI that just has incredible cyber capabilities.
One big net, man. Got it.
Yeah. Nice, dude. Nice. One big mosquito net.
Solved.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little scary. I don't know about the individual. Like I said last week, I think everyone will have all these powers, but you're not going to earn what you used to earn when you had to put in all the hard work to actually develop these skills. So everyone's going to be a developer, but you're not going to be a $250,000 developer. You'll be like a $80,000 developer. So these get like slightly commoditized in a way where they don't earn as much.
But a $250,000 developer of today maybe gets commoditized into an $80,000 developer as well.
Maybe. But maybe you also, I don't know. It's
one thing that's for sure is all the big boy companies talking are like, we are definitely hiring generalists, not specialists.
Because the specialist, that's handled by the AI already.
Yeah, it's like a generalist who has better context awareness and a varied skill set of like design and product development and software engineering is way more capable with Claude Code and in a company and an organization than someone who's just like, I am specifically
a
designer or a Python, back-end engineer, and that's all I do. That person is
someone who's got like product market fit, like product marketer, a designer, and an engineer,
and technical leaning. Those are the people that are like being swooped up right now, and it's confirmed by like Anthropic, OpenAI, everybody.
Microsoft said the same thing.
They just want generalists.
They squashed like 3 roles into one.
Yeah,
that's a cool trend. I hadn't heard that.
I always tell like younger people that work at our company, like you want to be a jack of all trades and a master of one. Like you still need to know.
Yeah, you still got to be the guy for the thing.
You still should be a guy for like, or a woman for a thing.
Yeah.
But we try to give context in the whole business. Like every week we're like, this is what's going on in the business. So like everyone should have a little finance, a little technical, a little marketing, a little product, awareness at like you're saying, Armand, at least.
Yeah.
Because if you don't build that skill and you're just like a silo of a skill, it's dangerous.
For sure.
Is anybody checking chat? What's going on in chat?
Yeah, Marty's feeling dystopian. Big surprise, he says.
Everyone will be billionaires and a sandwich will cost $100,000.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, that's factual.
I don't know. I feel like the automation creep.
Well, Hookham says, yeah, but we'll be billionaires.
Nice.
We'll be good. I don't know. I feel like the automation creep is just setting good habits. We don't think about our habits when they're built in, like we don't think about tasks that AI automates. We are prediction models ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to pull that thread a little more actually. Like I asked like are we losing our humanity? But like did our humanity even exist? Like are we actually just the AI and we're just like meat AI and we think of ourselves as like higher order because we have this meat?
We're probably just like
We'll have a lot of time to think about these things.
Because the AI will handle all of our productivity.
We'll finally get to philosophize for a living.
Yeah, is that what you're gonna do in your free time?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna play FIFA.
wait, didn't we talk about, maybe this is more Steven's thought too, about like how you have a handful of years to get rich and you need to do it as soon as possible.
Why? Who cares? You're just gonna be free of burdens no matter no matter how much money you have.
Sure, it'll work out perfectly. And that transition phase will be so smooth.
I think that
There won't be like massive.
The Marty in me would say like, sure, but at what cost? And who are you? And who and what are you beholden to for your freedom, your so-called freedom? Because I think that we're also stepping into this age of like complete control, and
yeah.
like numbing us to certain civil liberties and rights, and we're already watching that unfold right before our eyes, where these authoritarian actions are becoming normalized and supported by by our government. You've got the kind of like end of the global treaty, and if everything goes inward, people are going to care less about what's going on in other countries. There's going to be more lockdown and more top-down authoritarian, techno-authoritarian rule. And if you are of higher means, then you have the leverage to be like, fuck you, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I think that if you are beholden to the government for your handout, well, then you have to follow a very specific set of guidelines. Like you might be okay, but it's no longer life the way you want to play it. You might even be told you can't even go there. You can't even cross that boundary. You can't cross that state if you've done X, Y, Z and you've broken this or that infraction.
Well, let me tell
Like,
you,
these are the types of things that I think a lot of smart people are very worried about.
if we're gonna get 10 to 20% GDP growth and returns to capital, not labor, you should own stocks.
Yeah,
and it'll take you to the.
I was just gonna ask because like last time we were like in awe of the technology, we just kept asking ChatGPT to write us poems with only words that start with S instead of buying call options
And
on
all
Nvidia.
we should have done was buy more Nvidia.
More Nvidia. So yeah, I guess
What is it this
should we pose the question? We're in awe of the technology.
It's the same thing all over again. It's just buy more of the Mag 7, right?
I think there can be new Mag 7s.
Yeah.
Like Anthropic.
OpenAI, Anthropic.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like those are going to be sort of the winners take all that of the future. That's what I'd want to own. But I think this is like what I meant when I said the tech investment phase has a longer runway. It's because like when you see a bubble forming, like what I would imagine happening is that you would see massive IPOs like this from like OpenAI and Anthropic, huge returns to like venture side from those investments, and then like a ton of follow-on investments that also are just like
they raise a new fund because they just had a killer.
Yeah. And then like a ton of success stories on the back of that actually aren't successes. They're just short-term successes that result in like catastrophe for investors. And that's where like the bubble actually happens. It's like, I think Anthropic and OpenAI and the likes of those guys actually do sort of like take everything. And then what you find in like the .com bubble is that like you had a bunch of shitty names like pets.com trading at 10,000 times.
I was thinking a different framework. Like I like that. Like you're thinking about it in terms of the cycle.
Yeah.
I was thinking more in terms of like what's the AI stack made out of? There's like energy and materials, there's chips, there's like cloud providers, then there's tools and applications, and then there's users of the applications. And then you have the second order effects, which like, you mentioned like cybersecurity could be a threat. So like in my AI gold barbell basket I was telling you about, I have 3 cybersecurity stocks and they're the lowest performers of the whole basket. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like I want to own those because they're going to be very important over the next like 18 months. But is it better to just think about like along that whole stack in different phases of this, there's going to be different winners. Like energy and materials is having an obvious like little run more than the cloud providers. Nvidia's obviously had its run and probably will continue. Maybe just invest in the whole stack. But I think if you own the S&P 500, it's not bad because like what if the users are the ultimate winners of it all from the productivity gains?
I think users are going to be the ultimate winners, but I agree with you that like within this stack, I think there's a rising tide lifting all of it, and you're seeing like water sloshing around within the bucket. So it's like gains are going towards energy now, or it was going towards like the Google sort of like network effect at one point instead of the Nvidia side. I think that water will slosh back
Right.
eventually as the tide just continues lifting for everybody.
I was thinking about like where in the stack
Question.
are the biggest bottlenecks? It was chips. Now maybe it's shifting
It
towards
was like-
energy and
It was memory.
memory.
It's memory now.
Yeah. Okay.
I like your optimism and I like what you're saying because also there's the component of like the anecdote, the objective thing that I shared, which is like everyone's freaking out in AI generally right now that's building. They're just like, it's never been better. This is unbelievable. So you have like true productivity and business gains happening, right? Like you can take a 1-year product roadmap and get it done in a month now or less. So
This
that's
is
like real.
amazing. This is
That's
amazing.
like real. But what about like the Ray Dalio, the debt cycle, the geopolitics, the fourth turning, alongside everything you're talking about? Like,
Own gold.
yeah, I mean, so like, do you look at this as like, I do need some sort of like all-weather barbell or all-weather 4-quadrant sort of like breakdown?
I suppose that was always the smart strategy.
Yeah, it was, and I should just bought Bitcoin instead because you guys called it
No, but
digital gold.
remember-
we own the digital version.
Sucks for you, man. You got gold bars.
Hey, think of it as like the gold bars are just finally catching up to the digital version.
Right.
Sure. It's a more positive,
right.
optimistic framing.
Well, I was listening to my guy, Aswat the Motoran. He's like he's kind of like I call him like daddy of fundamentals, but he's the professor.
See the
at,
valuation guy?
He's valuation
Okay.
guy at like NYU Stern. And I was listening to him just saying like gold is what it always was. It's like a bet against the status quo remaining. So like to whatever degree you want to like hedge,
I just don't know how much I need.
I think that gold has such a long history of what it does and what it suggests it does that it's going to keep doing exactly what it does and what it suggests it does. I'm also sort of coping because I don't
Yeah.
own enough gold. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm optimist. I believe in these stonks that we're talking about.
Yeah. Me too.
But remember we talked about, I forget what the context was. We had like an episode on financial repression. And we're like, okay, you're talking about debt. So what are the ways out? One was you inflate the debt away. Another was you tax heavily. Another one was you shove bonds. You force the citizens to buy the debt. So you try to increase demand for the debt. But then the last one was a productivity boom.
Yeah, that's like
That was like the outlet. That's like
the one out.
That's
you
the
got.
one out, and it's the one out that probably China has for like a demographic collapse.
Totally.
So-
China has like a Doctor Strange calculating. I've done a million outcomes, and we have one chance.
Yeah, we got one chance out of this thing. So you need to participate. I was trying to look up in AI 2027 what the prediction was for the S&P 500. It was kind of like a joke. It had some ridiculous return. It was like 20,000.
But like the measurement period for the stuff matters because like at the time when we bought Nvidia and that return versus like what gold has done over the last 18 months or something, it's like
Nvidia wins.
yeah, I don't mind what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what is in the all-weather portfolio. There's gold. There's
4 quadrants,
stocks. There's world
international,
international.
and bonds.
and bonds. Ugh.
Gay.
Bonds
Sorry.
definitely seem to be.
Sorry, that was, sorry, that was just like I almost puked.
I think that's the one you most definitely don't want to own in all of this.
Yeah.
Those are the bag holders. But it seems like commodities is the common replacement for bonds to like level out the portfolio in a 4 turning. Like Darius Dale last year was like, in 4 turnings, bonds do the worst, so we're gonna put gold in the portfolio. Now he's like, he just brags about it every single week that he made the call. But like even Warren Pies, he said like commodities are replacing bonds in a typical portfolio.
I think that's reasonable. I think another thing that's interesting to point out is like I did a much deeper dive on Ray Dalio's all-weather portfolio from what he said to what he was actually doing, and he was like almost fully allocated in bonds, and he was using massive leverage. And I think this was also mentioned in the book too, where he was just like, what I'm suggesting to you is what you can do. You can't do what I can do. Like you can't take the leverage I can take. So if I'm getting, 6% on treasuries and I can lever the shit out of it on risk-free, like that's different. That's a different game.
He was able to borrow less than the return on treasury. Like how the fuck does he do that? I guess
I just saw the portfolio.
Okay. Was he doing like a recursive buy bonds, borrow against the bonds?
Yeah, I guess you can take 90%.
And just do that like a Russian doll situation. But yeah. I doubt his well, anyway.
When you get a prime broker, a lot of things unlock.
Okay. What else? Any other big ways that we should try to make some money off this thing? I'm trying to just implement this in our company to try to make us more efficient. So it's hard.
I actually am excited based on what we've talked about today. I want to play around. I want to dick around. I have a spreadsheet that like I use for my options trading game. I want to like turn this spreadsheet into a more automated, more sort of like streamlined thing. And I'm guessing based on what you've described already that this is like very plausible. Like,
oh yeah, dude. You're going to actually, I want to see, can you try 2 scenarios? One where you give it the sheet as a starter and you have it improve it. And then another one where you just start raw and use whisper flow because it'll make it easier. You just be like, hey, this is what I do. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm trying to build, and like have it start from scratch. And I'm just curious where it goes in both scenarios and which one's better.
Should we get whisper flow as an advertiser?
We should. It's amazing.
They're great. I've chatted with the founder a bunch. He's awesome. Yeah, I email with him.
Oh, cool.
He's great.
Let's get him on the pod.
That's true.
All right, let's see.
He can sit in your lap. We only have 1 camera.
We're down to 1 camera, but we're having a good time. All right. It seems like we're upon our deadline because we started 30 minutes late, but it's a good time to finish.
I think the answer is build. It's not buy only. It's build.
Build and buy.
Build, baby.
Yeah. Build something.
Should we borrow?
Build, buy, borrow? Yeah.
I'm always
Rates
borrowing.
are good.
I'm always borrowing, man. It's crazy.
All right, guys, this was fun. Thanks, chat, for joining us. Like the video if you could do for a little gentleman's handshake. Help out the pod. Would appreciate that very much. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, especially if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And then are we all here next week?
Yes, sir.
We have quorum. Exciting. We'll see you guys back here next week, Wednesday, 5 p.m.-ish now, depending on how long it takes us to get this thing dialed in. We're slowly regressing, but we'll have a comeback.
Yeah, thanks everyone for your chatting. I like that. I like that interaction. I feel like I want to engage more.
You should.
Engage me.
Yeah.
You don't engage me.
Hey, man.
Later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.